In 1997, Clay Christensen published a book called The Innovators Dilemma, which was extremely popular and influential in looking at the relationship between innovators and incumbents in a field. Christensen is often credited with coining the term disruptive technology. His work was based on a study of the magnetic disk drive industry during a time in which the form factor, that is the size of the disk, was shrinking, and the amount of data, the density that could be stored on a disk, was increasing. So that even though the size, physical area was reduced, the reduction was not necessarily in the amount of data that could be stored. What he observed in this was a new leader with each generation, with each new form factor. And he wondered why this was so. Why did a leader for one size not continue to be the leader for the next generation? And his conclusions were, first of all, that products based on disruptive technologies are often cheaper, simpler, smaller, and more convenient to use. And again, remember here that Christensen is thinking about products. We want to extend this to include services because a lot of the disruptive technologies on the internet are based on services. Furthermore, he concluded that investing aggressively in disruptive technologies, interestingly enough, was not a rational financial decision for the leaders. By and large, he said, a disruptive technology is initially embraced by one's least profitable customers. And again, that's probably true for products. I'm not sure it's the same thing for services. I'm not sure that he believes this entirely, but it certainly is an interesting observation. The highest performing companies have well-developed systems for killing ideas their customers don't want. As a result, these companies find it difficult to invest adequate resources in disruptive technologies. They appear in the beginning that they will have a low margin and that customers will not flock to them. So his final conclusion is that good management is the root cause of the problems that incumbents were having. The very decision-making and resource allocation processes that are the key to the success of established companies tend to reject disruptive technologies. And I think this fits with the model that we've talked about here, because I think a subtext under this is denial. Okay? So the managers in the incumbent firms are denying that the new technology is going to be successful, that their customers are going to want it, and that they should invest in it. So his suggestion was to give the responsibility for disruptive technologies to organizations whose customers need them. He suggests also that you have a separate organization for developing new technologies to get it away from those who are focused on current technologies and are invested in them. He also stresses the importance of middle managers who have to decide what ideas will come, as he puts it, bubbling up, that they will carry to upper management for approval, okay, going to senior management. And these middle managers should sift the good ideas from the bad and make a case for the good ideas so that they can secure funding. And we're going to see middle managers playing a key role at Kodak and exhibiting a huge resistance to change. Okay, well, Christensen analysis fits the disk drive industry quite well. What about the internet age? Let's talk about internet products, which are often more in the form of services than a durable product. Certainly, cheaper, smaller, and more convenient fix the I products. They are incredibly small, they're simple to use, and they offer a great deal of convenience. But yet investing in disruptive technologies is not a rational financial decision. Why did Apple do it? What did Apple know that other people didn't? Well, Apple is a different kind of company. Okay? It may not have had the systems in place to kill off new ideas. In fact, it was a company that I think considered itself to be innovative. Okay? And therefore, it was looking for new ideas rather than trying to squelch new ideas. How were they able to create such a disruptive system of products and services? Well, there's one answer here, and that's Steve Jobs. Okay? Obviously, Jobs was a driving force behind these products and services. He particularly understood the internet and its potential. And clearly, Jobs is one of the great designers, or at least leaders of great design that we have seen in our country. He does not believe in focus groups or beta testing on customers, doesn't do any of these things. He just had an intuitive sense or a feeling for what was good design. And they had a market strategy, which was to shift from industrial sales to focus on the consumer. And in fact, they've created a shift in the entire PC and computer industry more toward the consumer. So what are the lessons from this? Well, the Innovators Dilemma is a great starting point. It applies well to a family of products, okay, like disk drives. In the internet age, disruptive technologies are all-encompassing. They include products and services, and let's call them hybrids, where products and services are mixed together. Great design and a system of resources means that even though no one is asking for an innovation, so no one wants it, it's so appealing that everyone adopts it. I mentioned in another video that I didn't know I needed an iPad until I got one. And now I have to have an iPad. And I didn't think I needed a smartphone until I got an iPhone. And now I have to have an iPhone. So they created their own demand, which is different from Christensen's observations with the disk drive industry. It's so appealing that it leaves behind what was there before. So at this point, let's pause for a moment for a short quiz to see how well you understood the discussion we've just had of the Innovator's Dilemma. And the key takeaways from this video, the Innovator's Dilemma raised consciousness about disruptive technologies. This term came into our vocabulary. I think the internet has magnified the impact of new innovations in technology. Okay? They're stronger than they were in the past. In today's world, a product and a system can be successful even if customers are not asking for it. If you want an example of a service that this applies to, well then clearly we're talking about Facebook. Who knew they needed Facebook until they were able to actually enroll? When Facebook started, it was for students at Harvard, and then expanded to colleges and expanded in steps to other populations. And each new population found a need for it, found it appealing, and joined to reach this 1 billion plus users that are on Facebook now. And so I think the final message here is innovation counts. And what we've seen with disruptive technologies are ongoing examples of innovation.